Before we start, make sure you subscribe and like this video. I found my childhood diary. It's filled with people who never existed. When I was young, I wanted to be a writer, so my mother encouraged me to keep a daily diary. I remember giving it a shot one summer, but ended up being so bored and miserable, I never touched the diary again once the summer ended. I found the diary recently in a box of school supplies, assignments, and mementos. I am a teacher now, and I teach 6th grade students, the same age I was when I wrote the diary. I don't remember much about that year, but I thought it might help me connect to my students to relive that part of my life. The diary is in my terrible handwriting. It's the same red composition book I remember my mother buying for me. On the front is the caption "Summer of 1999" in Sharpie. I even remember sitting at the desk in my mostly empty room almost every evening to write things down. But the diary is wrong. I don't know if I was just being clever and creative, but nothing I wrote down makes any sense. I remember trying to be serious and honest during my writing, but I cannot reconcile what I am reading and what I remember. I've included some relevant entries from the diary. Please keep in mind, I was 11 when I wrote most of these. For some context, I moved around a lot growing up. I wasn't in a military family or anything, just a typical child of divorce whose mother moved place to place to find work. After my 5th grade year, we moved to an old mining town, well past its prime. They had mined some kind of ore from the hills, and abandoned mine shafts, smelters, and railways were scattered throughout the town like forgotten toys. You sometimes would hear old people talk about how there was still ore to be mined in the hills. But to the best of my knowledge, even 25 years later, it's still a ghost town. Ghost town is not a phrase used lightly. In fact, this town loved to proclaim how haunted it was to bring in tourists. There was an old brothel at the turn of the last century where one of the workers murdered everyone in the building with a pair of scissors. It's a high-end hair salon now, Haunted Hair or some other tacky name. I guess it's a theme to spook the customers with stories and then snip the scissors next to their ear to scare them. Not many repeat customers, but lots of tourists love a good scare. Many stories like that. If a place is haunted, might as well make money off the ghosts. There is little to do in that podunk town except milk the past for all it was worth. We only lived there only 1 year. I remember my 6th grade teacher and how influential he was to the teacher I would eventually become. I remember walking around and exploring the old abandoned mining facilities, trying and failing to build a tree fort in the forest, reading lots of books and playing Ocarina of Time and Pokemon Red Edition. I was a bit of a loner, but that's okay. I moved so much during my childhood, I never really got the chance to be good at making friends. Even now, I'm not in contact with a single one of my childhood friends and can hardly even think of any. That is why my diary is wrong. Let me show you. Entry 1, Friday, June 4th, 1999. Summer. Finally, Mom told me I should write things down in a diary. I usually don't like diaries. They seem a little girly. But this year was so great, and I'm going to have the best summer ever. Ace found a perfect spot in the woods to build a fort. He even found a bunch of wood and nails and chain link fence that we can use to build it. It is in a big sycamore tree, so there is enough space for a big fort. Right now, just me and Ace know about it, but we can bring in more friends. Maybe I can even invite Blanca. Tomorrow, Ace will call some friends and I will call some friends. Most of the class will probably help if they are not busy. So excited. Tree fort. Best summer ever. Entry 2. Saturday, June 5th, 1999. Great first day. Ace called Josh, Caleb, Brianna, and Crystal. I called Hunter, his little brother, Axel, Sarah, and I tried to call Blanca, but her parents answered the phone in Mexican, so I panicked a little and I hung up. Maybe I will try later. Oh, my brothers decided it would be fun to join. Can't they just have their own friends? Anyway, we took this big bunch of chain link fence that someone left lying around, and we all carried it to the tree. Fence is heavy. After we brought it to the tree, we lifted it, difficult, into the tree and stretched it between two branches. The fence was so long that it stretched from one branch to another and then dangled all the way to the ground. It is a ladder and a net combined. First day, and we already have a ladder and a floor. Good start for a fort. We used a lot nails to hold the fence to the tree. Hunter's dad is a carpenter, and we borrowed some nails and a hammer. I hope nails aren't bad for trees. I think I heard that before. Entry 6, Wednesday, June 9th, 1999. Pool day. Ever Wednesday is Dollar Swim day at the pool. We decided to take a break from the fort for a day. The walls we tried to build Monday already fell down, so maybe we need a new plan. Fence works great though. Honestly, if we just get a roof to cover us, the fence is all we need. Not giving up yet though. But pool day. Mom, don't read this part. Blanca was there. She was in a bathing suit. She was so pretty. I almost didn't talk to her, but Ace called her over and we started talking. I mean, we talked a lot at school. She sat next to me in class, and at the start of the year, her English was so bad. Now she speaks just fine, but I don't think her parents do. I told her I had tried to call and panicked. She told me to just ask for Blanca, and that her parents understand English pretty good, even if they don't speak it well. I invited her to help with the fort. She said it sounded fun and could come Friday. So excited. Entry 8, Friday, June 11th, 1999. Ouch! I just got back from the hospital. I had to get a tetanus shot. I hate needles. 2 nurses had to hold me when they tried to put in the needle. My arm still hurts, but ouch! So we decided to build a second level to our fort and use one of the higher branches. We used nails and boards to make a ladder up higher. I guess sycamore wood is soft, and nails don't like to stick into them. So as I was climbing, one of the boards came out, and I ended up falling. I'm usually good at falling. I can jump from really high. I jumped from 14 feet once, and was fine. This time, I was not fine. I landed on a piece of wood with not 1, but 2 nails sticking out. They went all the way through my foot. Caleb tried to pull the board and nails out of my foot, but it was so hard. It took Caleb and my big brother working together. I may have cried a little. Blanca was there. I hope she doesn't think I am a wimp. The nails were super rusty, and after my brothers carried me home, I had to go to the hospital. They gave me a shot and said I also twisted my ankle. They told me I can't go outside to walk or run for a week. Boring. I would just play games this week. I saved up enough for Pokemon Red. My little brother has Blue. Maybe we can catch them all. I hope they don't build too much of the fort without me. Entry 13, Friday, June 18th, 1999. Freedom. Oh my God. While I was hurt, Ace didn't work very much on the fort and did some exploring instead. He found the coolest place I have ever seen. He said it is a part of the old mine, maybe a smelter or factory or something like that. The building is huge, maybe 2 or more soccer fields long. It has levels above ground and underground, and it is like a maze. Ace said a giant factory is better than a small tree fort. I like my tree fort, but he is right. This place is awesome. There is an owl nest and tons of broken windows, and even some dark, scary places. It's perfect. Tomorrow, we are going to invite everyone back. Entry 14, Saturday, June 19th, 1999. All 12 of us went to the factory. It was awesome. We spent the whole time exploring. We found some mountain lion prints that were a little scary, but Hunter said his dad said that mountain lions are cowards and would never attack a big group like ours. Hunter and Axel's dad knows a lot about hunting, so I will believe them. We call our new fort the factory, and it is our new hangout spot. It's only about 20 minutes from where most of us live, but you have to cross a burned down bridge and crawl through some drain pipes to get there. It's fenced in by like 5 different layers of fences, but there is an underground pipe that is tall enough to walk through that takes you inside. It's hidden behind some trees, but Ace found it. We ran around for a while and explored. We played a game of tag, and it was super intense. So many places to run and hide. After about 15 minutes, we said anyone who was not found was a survivor and won that game. The person who was it we called the ghost. If the ghost catches you, you become a ghost and have to join the hunt. We played 3 or 4 games and then came home. I was the ghost once and could have caught Bianca, but I let her get away. I don't think she liked that. I think she wants me to catch her. Woohoo! Entry 14, Sunday, June 20th, 1999. Believe it or not, it's not summer yet. It's still spring. Tomorrow is the first real day of summer. It's called a solstice, and it's the longest day of the year, which is perfect because Ace said he found the coolest spot in the factory to check out. He went there on his own today because the rest of us had church or chores or other boring stuff. But he called and said we have to get everyone for tomorrow. It's going to be a long day of fun at the factory. Entry 15, Monday, June 21st, 1999. Our whole group went to the factory today. Instead of starting with ghost tag, we explored a bit more instead. There is this part of the factory we call the maze. It's like they started to demolish part of the factory and just gave up. It's the best place to hide for ghost tag because there are so many levels and corners and shadows. So before we played tag, we were looking through the maze together and we somehow ended up in a dark hallway, almost like a cave. We couldn't see anything because no one brought flashlights or lighters, but we all just held hands and moved deeper into the dark. I was holding Blanca's hand behind me, but I don't remember who I was holding in front. Too dark. Sarah and Caleb were complaining and wanting to go back, but we kept moving forward. There are lots of mines and tunnels here, so maybe that explains what happened. Suddenly, there was sunlight. There was a hole to the surface, and sun was shining down, and we could suddenly see again. It looked like we were in part of a mine, but the walls were really smooth, almost like obsidian, the stuff the Indians used to make arrowheads. We learned about obsidian and different volcanic rocks in science this year. We thought it was a cool place, and the wall looked really cool. Someone pulled out a nail and used it to scratch their name on the wall. Even though the wall was black and shiny, the name looked really good, almost like a chalkboard. We all took turns writing our names. Hunter had to go first, but everyone else soon followed. The light was starting to fade. I think the sun was moving and not shining in the hole anymore. My little brother handed me the nail, but I wanted Blanca to get to go, so I let her go before me. Before I could get a chance, my big brother took the nail and wrote his name. I had just started writing mine when the light finally went away. Bummer. Anyway, we all linked hands again and started walking our way back out. It was easier leaving than coming in. But someone, I'm not blaming my brother, but it was definitely my brother, decided to scream loud and freak us all out. But we all made it out fine. And Blanca wrapped her arms around me when she got scared in the dark. Awesome. We played ghost tag for a few more hours and enjoyed the first real day of summer. The 11 of us walked our way back home laughing. Entry 17, Wednesday, June 23rd, 1999. Pool days are great. The factory gang was all able to show up. I think Josh was there for Crystal. He wanted to show off his new Game Boy Color. I had to pick up dog poop for an entire summer to get my Game Boy, but his parents just buy it for him. Anyway, great time at the pool. I got to show Blanca my diving skills. Then my big brother had to show his backflip skills to show off. Thankfully, Blanca didn't seem interested in him. Sarah did though. Mom, he is going to be in high school next year. Showing off to middle school girls is gross. Anyway, the days are still super long, so we made a trip to the factory. Josh bought some snacks at a market along the way. I bought some Mexican candy that Blanca recommended. Spicy and salty. Weird. We ate, we relaxed, and we flirted. Some people should not have been. As the sun started getting low, and the entire gang made our way back home. Axel was a little annoying on the way home. I know he is a friend of my brother and part of the factory gang, but it feels like he is just following us around. Even still, the 10 of us had a great time. Can hardly wait for the 4th of July. Entry 19, Friday, June 25th, 1999. Today at the factory, Blanca and I hid together during ghost tag. It was awesome. She told me a little more about her life in Mexico, as well as some Spanish. Spanish, not Mexican. Yeah, I spent a year helping her with her English and never asked what language she actually speaks. I might be a bad boyfriend, not that I am her boyfriend, yet. But I want to learn and hope she will tell me more. I will even learn to like the gross Mexican candy. But, yeah, it turns out talking does not make for very good hiding, and we both got caught. Worth it. I was the ghost the next game, and it should have been easy to find one of the 8 people hiding. But it took forever. I ended up chasing someone through the maze for so long. I almost caught them, but they got away. I eventually caught Caleb, who helped me catch Brianna and some of the others, but my brothers and Blanca were all survivors that game. Anyway, a lot of us have plans this weekend and won't be able to join again until Monday. Brianna has a family reunion or something. Half the town is her family, so it's a thing. Half the gang will probably be there. But I'm new to town and not related to anyone here. I will just build my Pokemon collection until then. It's hard to find space in the bedroom though. Our room feels way too small for 3 boys. Entry 21, Monday, June 28th, 1999. Okay, I will admit, I got a little scared today. We were playing ghost tag today, and Caleb was the ghost. He is good. He can move so quiet and is great at finding people. So I found the deepest and darkest part of the maze I could find. I found a spot in the shadows that was super easy to miss, and I sat down and didn't move. I heard Caleb run past a few times, and I heard a few shouts as he caught people, but I think 15 minutes had almost passed. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be getting older, and I'm not a kid anymore, but I could swear I heard something behind me, like something breathing and moving slowly. I know it was just Caleb or one of the other ghosts hunting me, but I thought maybe it could be a mountain lion or something. I've seen prints and poop around here, and I've never lived in a place with mountain lions. Maybe they attack people. Anyway, someone called the game, and when I called out, I was a survivor. There was nobody close to me. Maybe I was just hearing things. Ghost tag is fun, but it would be even fun with more people. I know the factory is our secret, but maybe someone knows someone else we can invite. Maybe next time we play, there will be more than 8 players. Entry 22. Tuesday, June 29th, 1999. We ended up cutting our time at the factory a little short. Josh was the ghost the first game, and he is not very athletic. He was not able to catch anyone, and he was a little upset when he couldn't show off to Crystal. Sarah just spent the entire time trying to flirt with my brother. Blanca wasn't there because she had a family thing. Only me and my little brother really seemed into the game. After the second game, where Sarah couldn't find anyone, we just went home. It's been a great summer. Not every day can be perfect. With Blanca missing, it was really only the 6 of us playing. Hard to find people that don't want to be found in that big place. Entry 24. Thursday, July 1st, 1999. Once again, Josh is just spending time and money hitting on Crystal. Even I can tell she was starting to feel a little uncomfortable. I feel bad when things are going so well between me and Blanca, but if it's not working, it's not working. I think Crystal has a thing for my younger brother. Otherwise, she wouldn't be hanging out with us so much. I think she is a year younger than me. Maybe she is in my brother's class. Josh is useful sometimes, but it feels like he is dragging us down. I appreciate the snacks, dude, but if you are just going to flirt with a girl my brother likes, I'm not sure how much longer I want you around. It feels weird to have 4 boys and only 2 girls hanging out. Too much drama for a small group. Ugh. Anyway, me and my brothers explored a little and played some games. I had some good time to sit and talk with Blanca also, but it's been a pretty boring day. July 4th is coming up soon. There is going to be a big fair and fireworks. I invited Blanca and she said she could go. I'm going to officially ask her out. We've spent all summer together. She has to say yes, I hope. Entry 25. Friday, July the 2nd, 1999. My brothers and I decided to go to the factory again. I called Blanca, and Crystal ended up coming as well. It feels weird to say, but I think my younger brother has more game than me. He and Crystal snuck off together for a while, and my older brother had to go find them. He was really shy about it, but I think they might be a thing. The factory is such a big place. It's nice to walk around, and there are all sorts of old papers and graffiti and things lying around. There are a lot of windows that look recently broken. I don't know of anyone besides us who has been coming here. Just me, my brothers, and a couple girls. My brothers like to break stuff, but I don't think they have broken that much over the summer. Maybe if we run into another group of kids, we can invite them to join us for some games or something. This would be a great place to play. Entry 26. Saturday, July 3rd, 1999. Oh my God, my brothers are annoying. They know I have had a thing for Blanca all summer. I was trying to get some private time with her, so I called her to invite her to the factory again. Both my brothers decided to come. My little brother was so annoying. He was chill and stuff while we were in the factory, but he just kept pestering me and Blanca on the walk home. I think he had a thing for Blanca. She's my closest friend, the only real friend I have made in this town. I can't imagine how boring this year would have been without sitting next to her. I helped her English. She is helping my Spanish. She's the one good thing here. My big brother seemed to get the hint and distracted my little brother. He can be annoying, but he is a pretty good guy. But tomorrow is July 4th. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to officially ask her out. I'm so nervous. I'm not very good at talking to people, and I'm really shy. I hope she doesn't say no. Even if she says no, I'm just so glad to know her. She's awesome. She makes this terrible place worth it. Entry 27. Sunday, July 4th, 1999. Holy crap. Oh my god. It happened. I asked her out. She said yes. Everyone was distracted by the fireworks, and we had our first kiss. It's so late. I'm so tired. I'm so happy. We are meeting at the factory tomorrow. Entry 28. Monday, July 5th, 1999. Blanca and I snuck out of our houses to meet at the factory. We kissed. A lot. It was awesome. Until my older brother came running in and freaking out. He said Mom was worried and that Blanca's parents had called. We had to go home. I haven't heard back from Blanca. I hope she can call soon. I'm going to sneak out again tomorrow, just in case she does as well. I know her parents work a lot, and maybe we can meet up. Entry 29. Tuesday, July the 6th, 1999. Super boring day. Went for a walk. Hung out at the factory for a bit. My brother met up with me, and we just talked for a bit. I asked him if he would be willing to get a Pokemon game so we could catch them all, but he said he wasn't into kids games. This town sucks. Haven't made any friends all year. Haven't done anything interesting. No one else from my class ever wanted to hang out. It's just me and my big brother, and he doesn't like anything I like. What am I even writing for? Entry 30. Wednesday, January 7th, 1999. It's another pool day. I ended up going, but I didn't know anyone. I wanted to talk to some girls, but I'm too nervous. I left pretty early. I wandered down to the factory. Not sure why I come here so much. It's big. It's boring. It's empty. I keep hoping maybe some other kids might hang out here, but it's only ever me. I'm done. The journal is useless. Entry 31. Friday, July 9th, 1999. I played video games. All day. My mom told me I should go outside, but it's boring. I think we might be moving soon. My mom said that rent is getting more expensive, and I don't need a room that big. Ouch. Well, the space was fun while it lasted. We'll miss this town though. Entry 35. Sunday, August 1st, 1999. Hi. Been a while. We are moving. Going to a new school next year. This town sucked. This summer sucked. I hope things are better next year. I'm gonna miss the fort I tried to make, and I wish I had time to go to the factory again just to see it. But too boring to go alone. Well, I'm never going to write a diary again. I love you, Mom, but this was a bad idea. Bye. End of entries. I'm an only child. All my life, it was just my mother and me moving from place to place. Sometimes she would find a boyfriend, and eventually she remarried, but that was after high school. I never had an older or younger brother. I always lived alone. These people I was writing about, I have no memory of them. I have never had a friend named Ace. I never had a girlfriend until my junior year of high school, and I do not remember anything about a girl named Blanca. I remember the tree fort and how hard it was getting the fence into the tree. But I don't remember where I got nails or a hammer from. I was pretty strong for my age, but 20 or so feet of fence would have weighed 170 or more pounds. It should have been a nightmare getting it into the tree, but I remember it being easy and fun. I remember the factory. It was actually visible from a lot of places in town, just hard to get to. I remember the path I took to get there and crouching through a drainage pipe to get around the barbed wire, but I don't remember finding that path. It's just the path I always took to get there. I must have gone there dozens of times. I don't remember every visit, but I do remember the feeling of running around and finding shortcuts, holes you could drop through to a floor below, stairways and catwalks that stretched across the entire building. It was like a giant, extremely dangerous playground for me, but I was always alone, swinging a stick like it was a sword, and I was on some imaginary adventure. It feels like something is missing, like something was taken from me. My diary starts with 11 friends, and in the end, I am alone. One by one, they go missing from my writing. First was Ace. I said he was my best friend, but I didn't have any friends that year. Hunter and his little brother, Axel, disappear next. The names sound like something you would find in a rural town like that, but I don't know of anyone I've actually met with those names. Brianna and Caleb were the next two to vanish from my pages. Sarah, a girl who liked my older brother, who was too old for her. Josh, a boy with a little money in a poor town and liked to show it off. Crystal, part of a romantic triangle between Josh and my little brother. Blanca, I do not know anyone with that name. I've worked in a few schools with large populations of immigrants, English language learners, and a large number of Hispanic students and parents. I know I have heard the name before, but I don't know anyone directly with that name and can't think of hearing it any time in my childhood. Did I make up an entire girlfriend out of boredom? Was I really that lonely? But brothers. I never had any brothers. I always felt so alone growing up, and only my books and games kept me company. What would it have been like to have brothers to share stories with, take care of each other, tease each other? Reading about them, it felt like a piece of my heart was being torn out. I would have given the world to have one person I could connect to, that I could talk to, and I had two. In this diary, I was a middle child, not an only child. I called my mother today. I tried to be subtle about it, but I asked if I ever had any brothers, or if I had any step-siblings when I was younger. The answer was a very clear, nope. I am, and was always an only child growing up. I mentioned the time I stepped on the nails. In my diary, my brothers and friends pulled the board and nails free and helped me limp my way back home. My mother remembers taking me to the hospital, but that the nails had already been pulled out by the time I got home. She said she was so proud of how brave I was to make it home on my own, but how upset she was that I was climbing trees in the woods alone. I asked about Blanca, Crystal, Sarah, Brianna, about any of the girls who would stop by on our way to the factory. Mom just laughed and replied that she wished I had brought some girls around. I was too lonely that summer. Ace, Hunter, Axel, Caleb, and Josh were also names and people she didn't remember. She did remember a friend named Josh I made in 8th grade, but that was years and an entire state away. Something is wrong here. Summer recess just started. I had planned on doing a trip to Europe, but I think I need to cancel those plans. I'll refund my tickets. I need to go back to the ghost town. I checked the school website. It turns out that Mr. Gonzalez is still teaching the same grade at the same school. Unbelievable. I contacted the school to see if he was free to meet up sometime. He replied back almost immediately, remembered exactly who I was. I've been teaching for a few years, but I still struggle with names and faces. Mr. G is one of those incredible teachers who remembers their students forever. Europe would have been great, but I'm actually looking forward to speaking with Mr. G again. Would love to share how my life has been, catch up, and get some teaching advice from someone I respect so much. I should be able to drive out there by mid-June. Tuesday, June the 18th, 2024. Arrived yesterday. Drove in from a nearby state. I'm shocked by how much this area has grown. New houses, fancy restaurants, even a few new schools have popped up. A lot of people were fleeing the nearby big cities lately, and with the post-COVID housing boom, a huge amount of development has occurred. Driving in, it felt nothing like my memories. Then I got to the old side of town, where the old mine and the factory are. The ghost town. There are even fewer homes in this part of town than I remember, and it looks really run down. At some point, they demolished the house my mother had rented back then, and it's just a barren field now. Just past 3 in the afternoon, I drove up to my old school. Absolutely identical. The paint looked fresh, but it was all painted the same colors. The buildings looked old, but they looked sturdy. No new buildings, no new equipment, just a relic of an earlier age still functioning and kept up after all this time. Only a new digital sign proclaiming registration for summer school and for new students in the 24-25 school year showed any signs of modernity. The nostalgia hit me like a brick, but seeing Mr. G was truly like traveling through time. He is so much smaller than I remember, and what hair he still has is bone white. Yet he still has all that same energy and joy that made his classes my favorite part of living in this town, the only part I remember fondly. He called my name out the second he saw me and gave me a big hug. I never even had to introduce myself. He brought me into the same old classroom we used to study in, and we just talked for hours. There were new books in the same old bookshelves, a laptop, charging cart where the old CRT TV stand used to be, and a big fancy smart board where the overhead projector used to shine. But some of the same posters were on the walls, the same or repurchased beanbag chairs in the corners, the same style of art and projects that we had done back in the day decorated the room. Technology may have advanced, but good teaching is good teaching. After a bit, or reminiscing, we went to a popular local diner. I remember getting root beer floats there a long time ago, but it's a gentrified little bistro these days. We had some good, if overpriced, food, and even had a few glasses of wine. I brought up some of the names of students from my diary, students that would have been in his class. Ace, Hunter, Caleb, Josh, Brianna, Sora, and Blanca. He thought about it, but said none of those names rang a bell in his mind. He said that he has had students with those names over the many years he's been teaching, but that none sounded familiar to my class. I asked him to double check anyway. He laughed and agreed, saying his memory wasn't what it used to be. Even though the summer had started, he had a couple of work days to prep for the coming school year, and even taught a summer school class on Wednesdays. He told me he would give me a call once he had a chance to crack open some of the old boxes of records. I offered to help. and he told me to swing by at around the same time tomorrow. His wife picked him up a few minutes later, and I went back to the hotel. Along the way, my eyes kept drifting over to the factory. It glowed red in the setting sun. A few more windows looked broken. A few more holes can be seen in the roof, but it looks mostly unchanged from all those years ago. I'll get some rest tonight and stop by tomorrow. Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. I just stopped by the tree fort I built. The sycamore tree died a while ago. Not sure if it was from the nails I used or from some natural cause. It's higher than I remember, and I can see where I had draped the fence like a net between branches. I wasn't small or scrawny as a kid. When I wasn't reading or playing video games on my own, I was out walking or exploring. I would climb trees, hills, and mountains wherever I could find them. I was pretty wiry. I have no idea how I could have gotten this fence into the tree. I would have needed ladders and ropes to do it on my own. I just remember taking the rolled up fence, bringing it to the tree, and nailing it across the branches. There had to have been more involved. There is no other way I could have done this on my own without a lot more steps that I would have remembered. I'm going to check out the factory next and see what I can find. The bridge I used to take to get here collapsed, but I found a dirt road that brings me nearby. There is even more fences around the place now, and a lot more razor wire. Even a sign that says it's regularly patrolled by police. Don't want an arrest on my record, but I can be quiet. I have to know. The tunnel is still here. A bit harder to get through with more overgrowth, but I force my way through. The tunnel is much easier to get through. At 11 years old, then 36, but I still managed to crawl my way through. Looks about the same. A bit more graffiti. It's about 300 yards long. A truly massive building. It's 50 or so yards wide the whole length down, but there are some wings and side buildings scattered along. It's about 50 feet to the ceiling from the ground floor, but there are 2 upper levels with balconies to the main floor. The first half, near where the tunnel connects, is mostly flat. I know there are 2 levels of basement below me, but there are enough openings for stairways and random holes in the floor. Visibility is decent, even in the second layer basement. The far side is where the maze is. I had no idea what kind of structure it was supposed to be when I was a kid. Honestly, I still don't know. Columns are connected by random walkways. Hallways are closed loops without doorways or windows. Some levels you can only get to by climbing a nearby I-beam, and there are a few random square pits that are filled with water and debris. Perhaps some machinery may have snaked its way through these levels, but without old pictures or knowing what that equipment was for, I have no idea. Just got a call. Mr. G said he needs to see me. It's not 3 o'clock, but maybe he found some free time. Ace was real. Blanca was real. I feel like I am having a panic attack right now. Mr. G brought me right into his classroom when I got there. He pulled out some old dusty boxes. One was labeled 98, 99. He told me that he checked the records for that year. He only had 11 students that year, including me. That's a small class. It would have almost certainly been combined with another, or they would have spread students from other 6th grade rooms to even things out. The average size of the 3 6th grade classes for all of the 90s was about 19 students. For one of the classes to have only 11 would not have made sense. So he opened his old boxes of student work. I don't know why he kept any of it, but I'm so glad he did. He pulled out a drawing of a boy in Gryffindor robes riding a broom. The name Ace was written across the bottom. Another paper with simple fill-in-the-blank answers from a word bank. Written in a careful hand were the words, "Hello, my name is Blanca." Other simple phrases covered it. Below it was the phrase, "What ES your name?" The word ES was scratched out, and the word is was written next to it. I recognized the slanting E's and lopsideds from the diary I had so recently and frantically read through. I wrote that. I helped her. I was there. She was there. I need a second. Mr. G had to take me outside. I sat below a tree and hyperventilated for a bit, but I think I have it under control. All the names I mentioned were in the student work. Ace, Hunter, Caleb, Josh, Sarah, Brianna, and Blanca were all there. Crystal and Axel were in other classes or grades. Same with my brothers, so I couldn't find anything from them, but they had to have been real. I had brothers. I lost brothers. What the fuck is happening? How did they just disappear? The factory. The factory. The fucking factory. Something there had to have been taking them. I'm getting them back. Mr. G was so shaken by what he found, he was in a daze. I drove him home. His wife was worried and confused when I brought him in. I'm going back to the factory tomorrow. I brought a gun with me, an old .38 special revolver my stepfather gave me as a graduation gift. Never really had need of it before. I do now. I don't even know what my brothers' names were. I had never written them down. What the fuck was taken from me? Thursday, June 20th, 2024. I'm here. I have a camera, a flashlight, bear mace, and a gun. I will leave the camera recording. I am turning on voice to text, just in case something goes wrong. I set up some shortcuts on my phone. If my watch detects an injury, it will call the police. It will also upload all the photos and videos I have taken, my diary, pictures of my friends' schoolwork, and a transcript of whatever happens. This might all be too much. I will probably just fall and break a leg in there, but something is wrong. Something made me forget, made us forget. Lost siblings, lost children, 11 futures were taken away. I need to know. Today is the summer solstice. Everything started going wrong on the solstice. Begin voice to text transcription. Testing, 123. Testing 123. I can't guarantee how well this will work. I'm going to take the best records of what's going on that I can. I'm inside, on my way towards the maze. It's the only place this could have happened. I found something. It feels familiar, like if I think I have been here before it's dark. There's a hallway. I'm gonna go down. It's not like the walls of the rest of the building. It was concrete. It was rebar. It was modern. This is just stone, black stone. This is not obsidian. It's smooth. It's glossy, but it's far too soft. There's no dust on the floor. Been walking now a few hundred meters, pitch black, only my flashlight. It's like, I've been here before. I can't remember. It doesn't feel like I'm remembering something written. I have been here before. Okay, I see something ahead. It looks like a dead end. It looks like a wall. Looks like this tunnel is ending. It's the names. It is Ace. Ace was real. He was here. Hunter, Axel, Caleb, Brianna, Sarah, Crystal. I see Josh Blanca. I see Blanca's name. She was here. She was real. Where did they go? What the fuck is going on? There's Christopher, and another name, Joseph. Christopher, Joseph, were those my brothers? Those my brother's names feel like I'm in a fucking nightmare. There's something else wrong. Though the names I can read them, but they're scratched. It's like they've been struck through. They've been scratched out. What does that mean? What did this? Where is my name? I know I came here. I wrote that I grabbed the nail. I wrote my name. I don't see my name. My name. My name. What the fuck is going on? What's my name? What's where I can't remember my name? Oh fuck. It's the light. It's the solstice. There is a borehole or tunnel or dirt or something leading up where it's towards the surface. I can see the sun shining down. It's like it was made for this purpose. Like the light is supposed to shine on this wall. I have the names. I have proof. I don't know what the fuck is going on with my head. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna call someone. I'll call Mr. G. I'll call the police. Maybe we can figure this whole thing out. I gotta go. Wait. I can hear something. There's something else down here. I can hear breathing. It's coming down the hall. I'm going to turn my flashlight on. I'm going to pull out the gun. It's Coyote Mountain Lion, something I can scare away. But I don't know. Stop, put your hands up. What the fuck, Jesus Christ. It's a figure. Stop. Fuck, my chamber's empty. It's just fucking walking towards me. It's what the fuck, Shadow. It's just empty. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. Oh God. What's my name? End voice to text transcription. Shortcut activated. Begin data upload.